Have you heard of Nightbright? Not Nightbright. Nightbright. If you haven't, it was an old toy made in circa 1997, only a year before Furbies hit the market. It was a plush wolf with glow-in-the-dark stars on it. Marketed as a bedtime storyteller with multiple, sewed separately cassette tapes that could be put inside its belly to be played. I had one as a kid. I used to play with it with an old friend of mine. We used to always pretend it was possessed and put punk rock cassette tapes in its cassette players of the actual story tapes. One cold night, I decided to dust off the ancient thing from my attic. I'd say that was my first mistake. I took it out of its box and noticed how destroyed it looked. Half its shirt was ripped, some of the endoskeleton was exposed, and it was missing an eye. I wondered to myself how it could have gotten in such a state. Maybe I'd misremembered how much of a reckless kid I must have been to get it so broken. I pouted it on, only to hear a deafening screech from its voice box, and I immediately turned it back off. I set it down in a chair. At least it's good Halloween decor, I said to myself. I laid back down on my bed for the night, only to realize I'd forgotten to turn off the light. So I went back into the foyer and the doll was nowhere to be seen. I was certainly unsettled by this, but ultimately brushed it off as forgetting where I put it. So I turned off the light and went back to bed. But I noticed something on my shelf. Something glowing? Even after all these years, the stars on that thing still glowed. But stranger yet, the eyes were glowing too. But not the normal green glow. They were blood red. And I felt my tiredness quickly turn to fear as it began to speak. In a cut-together, stuttery mess adjacent to a spirit box, I could make out one word.
Apologize.
Apologize to who? I stuttered.
To your old friend.
And sputtered mechanically. The thing must be talking about either itself or the old friend I used to play with it with. But I haven't seen that old friend since grade school. I wasn't even sure if she was still alive. Panicked, I ran out of my bedroom and locked the door. But it still spoke.
You think you can get away that easily?
I could only respond with silence as my mind raced for a solution. Do I call the police? Do I text goodbye to my loved ones? So many options, but the one I chose was running. I ran down the hallway to the kitchen and grabbed the biggest knife I could find. The thing somehow got the door open and I could hear the static of his voice box getting louder and louder. Eventually, I saw it crawling toward me from the corner. It came about 4 feet in front of me. "Don't move!" I yelled, threatening the door with the large knife. I watched as the thing slowly arose to its soot-covered plush feet, and it opened its maw, almost choking on its own wires, saying,
Don't act like you don't know who I am.
"I don't know who you are," I said exasperatedly, still pointing the knife threateningly towards it.
It's me, Rachel.
No, I spoke softly, lowering my weapon. "You can't be her. It's possible."
Oh, but don't you remember the car crash?
The car crash? How could I forget about the car crash? The one that everybody whispered about. How are you in there?
Not great.
No, how did you get in there?
I don't know, but I have one question.
What is it?
Why did you leave me in there?
I don't know.
Really?
I mean, how was I supposed to know my Nightbright was possessed?
Be careful what you joke about.
It walked towards me in an unnatural, choppy way, whirring and buzzing with each step it took. "Stay back!" I yelled. The static stopped. The doll stood still for one perfect second and said in Rachel's voice, "I'm sorry."